How's it going, Sports Wars? This is Roy with his solo debut. Familiar voice, familiar face. You know me from the Sports Wars podcast. I am, again, dropping my first solo video today. I was just wanting to touch base with the big news in college football today, the Urban Meyer suspension. There's been a lot of strong feelings both ways. Most of the strong feelings for Urban are coming out of Ohio State, some in other places. Wondering why exactly he was suspended. I have my own very strong feelings why for Urban. Well, against Urban, I guess is the best way to put it. I've made those feelings known throughout the day in our Facebook group, Sports Wars on Facebook. Be sure to join the group, like and subscribe below as well. Urban knowingly put off giving information to, not necessarily knowingly put off giving information to the people above him. He knowingly hired a domestic abuser to his Ohio State staff. He knowingly did so because Zach Smith abused his then pregnant girlfriend back when he was on the Florida staff. Back in 2009, I believe it was. He was on that staff in 2009 and choked his pregnant girlfriend. And they then went to Urban, apparently had a meeting with Urban Meyer while he was still at Florida, and stated that the information that they gave the police was false, and therefore retracted it. Then he was hired on when Urban came to Florida, or excuse me, when Urban came to Ohio State, he brought Zach Smith on as the wide receiver coach. And Zach Smith continued his abusive behavior. It's a cycle. We've seen this with other abusers. They continue the abuse. In some cases, the women stay on. Sometimes they stay on too long, and it results in grave, just really bad outcomes. Sometimes the women end up deceased, which is always a terrible outcome. Urban denied that he knew anything about it. He denied at Big Ten media, famously at Big Ten media days, that he knew anything about any abuse while Zach Smith was employed by the Ohio State University. While previously, as it's come out in this Brett McMurphy report, that it's come out that Urban did know. He actually discussed those allegations the previous night in a group text with the athletic director. They were aware. He was pretty much asking the athletic director, how do I answer this question without basically incriminating myself? And they haven't given answers as to what the response was. So he was aware. He was aware of these allegations, but he lied to the media about it, that he didn't know. It's come out that he knew as far back as 2015 through text messages exchanged between Shelley Meyer and Courtney Smith, the victim in this case. I don't say alleged victim because it's documented. There's mountains of evidence that shows Zach Smith is a piece of shit who repeatedly beat on his wife, terrorized his kids. The hubbub in this case is that Urban Meyer knew. Zach Smith has been fired. He's in the process of being prosecuted. He's violated multiple restraining orders. Dick pics in the White House, recorded sex with him at the Ohio State facilities and sent it to his wife, because the dude is a mental terrorist. He's a piece of shit. And all the bad things in the world should happen to him. Urban, on the other hand, gets a slap on the wrist with 3-game suspension. I feel like he should have been fired. During the press conference announcing the findings of the investigation, the farce of an investigation, the investigation that the people that were the investigation was being given to, they told the investigators to give a oral report and not a written one, because oral reports aren't subject to the Freedom of Information Act. So the reporters couldn't get exact details of what was found in this report. So it seemed shady from the start, and sure enough, this farce of an investigation turned up three games. And some of the quotes from the lead investigator are just mind-numbingly stupid. They determined, quote unquote, that Urban didn't deliberately lie, but he provided false statements. That is the knowingly provided false statements. That is an exact quote that was said word for word by the lead investigator. He didn't didn't deliberately lie, but knowingly gave false statements. What the fuck? And was given 3 games. 3 games against Oregon State, Rutgers, and TCU. He'll come back in time to get his warm-up game against Tulane and then Penn State. So their season isn't derailed by domestic violence. So Urban knew like Paterno knew. Urban's a piece of shit. We've known this since his Florida days. He is just terrible. He could have done more. Everybody keeps saying, oh, he did everything that was right. He did everything he was supposed to do. By his own words in the investigation, he admits doing nothing because he didn't think he should have done anything because there were no criminal charges yet. So all the people defending Urban saying, oh, he did what he was supposed to do, read the fucking report. He states he didn't do anything because he didn't think he had to do anything. And his when asked what would he say to Courtney Smith during the press conference last night? What would you say to Courtney Smith, the victim in all this, whose name didn't get said once during the entire press conference by anyone on the podium? When asked what he would say to Courtney Smith, he says, "I'm sorry we're in this situation. We are in this situation. Not sorry we didn't do more. Sorry we didn't stop this from happening 9 years ago. Sorry we're in this situation." Says all you need to say about Urban Meyer. And so I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Be sure to subscribe to the channel below. Check out geeksandgamers.com. Check us out on Sports Wars Instagram page. Come argue with me. I like fucking fighting with people. Come on, let's do it.